Alright, so this video is really just to show off the Minecraft server we've been working on for the past month or two because it's getting erased in a couple days, so I just wanted to have this on record so I could remember all the cool stuff we did on this server. So, here's the house I made. This is the starter house. It's built up on a cliffside, so you can see that it kind of juts out and it goes into this mountain here. So, first of all, there's some totem poles and some pirate flags on the outside here. The door is a custom-made door. You'll see when I walk up to it, it will instantly vanish in a spirally way like that. It's pretty cool. Inside the house, I decorated it with some Christmas lights, which do provide light at nighttime. I have my pets here. I got 2 cats and my dog and a ghost dog. Then the inside of my home, I got a record player here with piles of records on both sides, every different record I have. Here, I've got just a collection of all kinds of weird, crazy, kooky things up on the shelf. In the main part of the house here, I've got all of the machines, so I go from an atomic reconstructor, the manufacturing items, smelters, pulverizers. This here is a chest that normally fills with coal and powers this dynamo here, but right now it's not running. Right here you have all the rest of the machines, all the thermal expansion, the smelters, the compressors, electrolyzers, all the cool machines. And up here also another chest that gets filled with sulfur because this machine turns sulfur into gunpowder to make a large amount of TNT, which I'll get to later. Here we have all the trophies from the Twilight, all the monsters that we killed, of course. All of these books are actually all real books, all different enchantments of different types. My bed here, some cool posters. This is my ME system. So I got a full ME system with 2 full hard drives filled with stuff, some 16 and 4K ME cells. And they got the security thing on the back, which means I'm able to use this wireless crafting. So I can click on it from anywhere and check out my entire inventory. I have an incredibly huge amount of items. I'm not going to explain everything, but I have almost everything in the game you could get at this point. Tons and tons and tons of stuff. But the next room over is my magic room. So from here, I have my arcane workbench with the charger on it for Thaumcraft stuff, along with the cauldron. Then I have all my different elements labeled against the walls here, and the smeltery, so I can just throw stuff in here, whatever you want, throw it in here. Well, from certain mods, I should say some feathers, and then the essence for the feathers will get absorbed and put into the correct jars automatically. It's pretty cool. I also have a couple of things from extra utilities and an XP sink. Then I have a little jail here because I needed this villager alchemist for something I ended up never being able to get. There's one type of sapling, blood sapling, I was never able to get, but he was supposed to sell to me eventually. He never did. Oh well. And then that's the magic room. Then the next room over, you go up these steps, and this is the smeltery. So here I just built a regular Tinker's smeltery. It's got all kinds of cool liquid stuff in it. Nothing special about that. A couple of cool swords here on the bottom. I put all the really rare items that come from bosses and things like that. I put up on the wall here as well as over here. The stuff that you have to kill really difficult enemies to get, I have up here. So those are pretty cool. As well as some, I got some armor sets on both sides here as well. And that's my smeltery. So that's the inside portion of my home. I still have these 3 rooms. That's pretty much it. And then the majority of my stuff is from the outside. So that's the house. Obviously I can fly because I have the flying ring. I have all the baubles pretty much. I got the angel ring, lava charm, token of life, the backpack, 8 charms of keeping. All my armor I made is all made through Tinkers, the Tinkers Construct Armory add-on. It's all really powerful, actually. You can see all the different buffs it has. And then it makes me look like a dragon because I have the extra cosmetic armor. I have the dragon scale and that. So that's the first part of the building. Then I made this, which is one of my favorite parts of this server that I made. I made this huge 8-bit sword that plunges into the ground. Everyone seemed to like this quite a lot when I made it. This looks really cool, and the best part of that is the entrance to the armory is at the tip of it. So it plunges in that here, and then you can go up here and open this up and go into the smeltery where we just were a minute ago. It's like the entryway to the armory. So that's the 8-bit sword I made. The whole premise of this is like a little village. So I have my house here, and then I have this walkway that this goes up there. This goes down to this little fishing kind of pond area that I made. It's got some lily pads, and it's got this fish crate that you can, get all these fish from. And then if you go on further, this is kind of the centerpiece of my whole town. So this is from Astral Sorcery. Obviously, this temple comes with it. Originally, I had a dragon in the middle, which is why you see this gold. I kind of made it into a dragon's den, but he broke out. And then I later on made it into a little aquarium thing. I've got this hippocampus swimming around inside of here. I thought that was pretty cool. It's like a little aquarium or fish tank or whatever you want to call it. But as you can see, the back side of this temple is kind of gone because the dragon escaped and destroyed it. So I have a few things from Botania. I didn't really do very much Botania this server. I've done it on the other servers, so I didn't worry about that. Over here, I've got all my gardens, so I've got tons and tons of different crops. Over here, got some pumpkins and everything. This market is pretty cool. The guy's gone right now, so I'm going to show you. If you put down the market, a guy will fall from the sky and land here, and he sells you the different seeds. It's pretty cool, a cool item. And he actually will attack enemies if they get near him too. Yeah, so that's the garden. At the top of the stairs here, I got the turret. I never really did too much. It's only a potato turret. You can upgrade that into a really cool item, but I didn't do too much with that. But here I've got the portal to the Twilight Forest. So if you jump through there, that takes you to the Twilight Forest. It's just got some big dragon skulls. Well, you can see it now. I might as well go over the dragons. So I've killed like 30 dragons or something on this server. I'm extremely strong. This is one of my pets. So I got some dragon eggs. This is a dragon I tamed and raised. He guards this side of my house. And then I have another dragon up here. That is a big red dragon I tamed. They're both stage 5 dragons. They're fully grown. This is a fire dragon, and he guards this side of my property. So between the two, the sun's going down. They're going to sleep now. I'm gonna just go ahead and sleep. I'll be right back. So from the Twilight Forest portal, if you just go down here a little bit, I have all the witches stuff from Bewitchment. So I have all these different flowers from the Bewitchment growing, and then I've got the altar with all the top grade stuff on it. Hey, it actually has my it actually had my fist on there, my caster gauntlet. But yeah, it's got the Ender Rod, the Chalice, the Dragon Head, and the Athame sword. So that's all top tier, as well as the rest of the Bewitchment stuff and the spinning wheel. And if you come over here, this is where the circles are for the rituals. This is where the chalk circles are. You can paint different colors to do the different summons. It's pretty cool. Alright, so if we come back to the middle here, right above the altar, we can see there's 2 more branches. So the first path goes down to my house there and the armory. The second path goes here to what I just showed you, the gardens and the portal and the dragon and the Bewitchment stuff. Then another way is this direction. So if you follow this bridge up here, I actually made floating islands, and they're completely floating. I mean, technically they're attached by the bridge, but they're just floating islands I made from scratch. There was nothing there at all. I completely made these from scratch. So you can see from underneath here, I just put a bunch of different materials and made it look like it got sucked up from the ground and is now floating. And then I kind of wanted to make it like these crystals here, these pink crystals are the cause of what's giving it magic power to make it float. And then I have another small one over here that's floating. And then they're attached by bridges. And this is where I have all my astral sorcery stuff. So if we come up here, on top of the floating island, there's the top tier celestial altar with the starlight collectors. I got a little golem here helping me out. And then from up here, we dump all our waste out of this lead sewer pipe, and we dump everything down here, all the sludge in the sewer sludge, and all the trash. So you have all these piles of garbage here. And then right here is a portal to Ratlantis. So if you go through the portal, I'm not going to really show you too much of it, but it teleports you here to Ratlantis, which is a whole other dimension. That's inhabited by rats. It's a pretty interesting mod. I've never seen it before, so I decided to play around with this quite a bit. There's a big rat head there on the sand. But let's go back home. So that is the Ratlantis portal down here. Then the other small floating island that I've got attached to here, it's just a tower. There's nothing inside of it. You can go in there, but it's just a ladder. I thought it was kind of a cool looking tower. I made it with this big floating crystal up top of it. And then up here is all of the vampirism stuff. So you got this coffin, then you've got these different tables and altars and everything that you need for the vampirism mod. This thing's full of blood. These are all for vampirism. So that's that. Then, when we go back to the center here, and if we go the last direction, this way, it takes you to... Those things were a pain, the whole server. Those harpies. These things. They look like owls. They're the worst. Anyway, if you go through here, this is a little entrance to a mining area. So, as soon as you go in, you can see there's two paths. There's also a couple doors here. So if you go in the door here, this is just the creosote making machine and the arc furnace. And then you got this little crafting table here for that mod. Then, this is the power generation for my GP so I can fly. There's 4 of these things. They're each making 16, so there's 64 power being made, so I have plenty to fly around with the angel ring. Then this side here has got a machine that makes infinite wither skeletons, although right now it's empty because there's no bones, but if we take some bones and put them over here, it'll generate a fuck ton of skeletons. I believe that's the right chest. Yep. Yep, a ton of them. Kind of interesting, actually. The amount of them that needs is quite humorous. It'll stop eventually, I think. Actually, I think it's going to make 640 skeletons with the stack. I think it makes 10 per bone makes 10 skeletons, so it makes 640 of them. Yes, they're mostly all dead now. There was a bunch of explosions during that. Normally, it doesn't make them that fast. It will usually only make one every like 15 seconds. But I just threw an entire stack of bones in at once. So made tons of skeletons and made a bunch of those annoying. We'll just let that go. we'll leave them to do their thing. So that was my Wither Skeleton farm. Obviously you can see it works pretty well. Oh, I took a ton of damage, jeez. I have like 40 something hearts and now I'm down to 5, so yeah, I didn't realize how much damage I was taking. I guess a room full of hundreds of skeletons will do that to you. So there's two different paths here. So this one says, do not enter danger, beware, right? So if you go down here, this is made it seem like they were digging, and then they got here and they found the portal to the Nether, and they stopped digging. They were like, oh shit, we found something, we don't know what it is, and then they just kind of stopped digging. Oh, I gotta get some hearts back or they'll keep making that heartbeat noise. I kind of want to heal all that damage so it stops making that heartbeat noise. So underneath here by the pond there's a little rest area here with some torches, and if you sit in here it says hot spring water, and you can see how fast my hearts are shooting up there at the bottom. Yeah, that's how many hearts I have. 53, I think it is. 53 hearts, which means 106 health. It's kind of ridiculous. But if we go back in the mine, we will see that path goes to the Nether portal, and then this one is what I actually use for mining. So if we go to the bottom of here, this path that goes, it loops around on the outside, goes back down even further, and then I kind of stopped here. I kind of ran out of materials. I didn't finish this entire thing. It goes through here and then it goes down further, and then I kind of ran out of stuff, so I did want to make it as fleshed out as possible, so it's pretty cool. I think it's got the cart tracks the whole way. Every 5 blocks it's got these dark oak trees kind of as supports, so nothing collapses on you. I wanted to make it look as much like a real mine as I could. I thought it did pretty well, though. So that's that back side of the mountain. If we come to the top, we'll go over this in a minute. That's my nuclear station. We'll do that in a second. But yeah, that's the mine. So that's where I go mining. Couple more things. On this side here, I have another 2 portals. So this huge tree here contains portals in itself. So if you actually go through these portals here, these green ones, it takes you to the Between Lands, which is a whole other mod pack, or mod that has its own world. And then in the middle here, if you go here, and I put a sign that said no to remind myself don't go there, but if you click on this it takes you to the Beneath. The Beneath is an extremely dangerous world. Everything has 4 times as much health and does 4 times as much damage, so yeah, I don't recommend going there unless you're really strong. But yeah, there's 2 more portals there, so I've got all 4 of the portals. There's 2 there. This is the Ratlantis one I showed you at the bottom of this floating place, and then there's the portal in the mine to the Nether, and then the I guess there's 6 actually. There's the Twilight Forest portal there. So there's 6 portals. But yes, that's basically it. It's got all the portals you need. It's got my house, the armory, this little aquarium place here, the portals, the farm. I've got my floating islands here with the vampire mod and the astral sorcery mod floating up here. I got some massive gigantic trees. And this whole place is on top of a mountain, so I'm pretty high up already. But yeah, that's mainly everything. Making sure I didn't forget anything. This is just a little area I made over here that looks like the Beneath, I think it's called. The Beneath, the portal that people drag you through at nighttime, I think it's called the Beneath. And, or the Midnight. There was a lot of different mods, a lot of different portals here. I think the Midnight is what it's called. And then here there's some fruit trees. Oh, I didn't show you downstairs. I almost forgot the second half of my house. So, if you go in my home, this is the first floor I showed you already. But there's a little teleporter pad here. If you stand here and hit shift, it takes you downstairs. All of this jumble of Machines, don't worry about that because none of that's really used. That was just to make some crystals so I can make the flying ring. But this is my power source. I've got magmatic generators powering everything. So I've got, maximum storage here. This has got 25 million. Wait, how much is in here? 50 million. There's 50 million RF saved in there, and I think there's another 50 million in here. Yep. So I've got 100 million RF saved up. Just magmatic generators, and if you go through here, I have the garden cloche hooked up to auto crafters that are taking netherrack and putting it into magma crucibles that are making lava to feed into the generator. That's how I keep it up. So I've got 6 of these, and I think 7. Yeah, I got 7 of these generators. That's how I'm getting power this one. Here, if you go in here, don't snoop. Learn your lesson. Don't snoop around my house. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my basement. And then we have the kitchen, which I really love the way this kitchen came out. I just used the kitchen mod, where there's these double doors. If you open them up, it's a beautiful kitchen in here. All of these are from Cooking for Blockheads mod, and they're all a connected block. So all these, the fridge, the countertops, the sink, the oven, everything is all connected, meaning if you put stuff in storage, so, I've got all this food in here, all this food in here, everything here's got, this food. If you open the fridge, there's all the meat and eggs and milk and things in there. This is all fish. There's a cookie jar full of cookies. Everything here, including all the tools, the spice rack, the fruit basket, the infinite milk, it's all connected. So you can see the oven here, it's got all these tools in it. There's tools hanging up above here. The way it works is if you right click this, it shows you a list of all the food you can make. And I can make a lot of food because I have got tons of ingredients. But let's just say I want to make, here, garlic chicken, right? All you do is click it once, and then click it again. And then boom, in my inventory, garlic chicken. So, there's so many different things I can make. Noodles. Click noodles, click it one more time. Here it is, noodles in my inventory. The only time it takes more than a couple seconds is if it needs to be cooked. If you want to cook something, then it puts the items into the oven and you have to wait till it cooks. But most of the stuff you just click twice and it instantly makes it for you. It's a great mod. I really love this kitchen. Plus I like the way it came out with the marble and the bright lights and everything. I think it's a really cool little thing here. And you got a sandwich station here where you can actually put bread and meats and it'll make your own little sandwiches. I really like this kitchen here. And then there's only one more thing I can think of I didn't show you yet, which is my little, in the beginning was my little hidden area, and then everyone else got wind of the cloches, so I kind of hid it. There was dirt blocking this for the first couple days, but this is where all the magic happens. So this is my cloche system. So this is making dirt right now, this is making fire. Those combine into sand. The sand gets shot down to my basement and makes dynamite with the gunpowder. So this is making food. It's making potatoes, which are linked directly to the ender skeletons or the nether skeletons that we saw earlier. That's how they get their food. And then this is taking all of the essences I've made and creating Supremium essence and creating Insanium essence. It's just all auto-crafted, so that way it just grows and feeds it through here, and I don't have to worry about it. It's a pretty cool little system I made. There's actually, if you break some of these are just covers, I think, or some of these are just covers. You can actually see there's a whole other area that's got all these different pipes and everything back behind the walls. But yeah, that's my little secret area there. And I think that's it. So I really enjoyed this server. This was Minecraft Eternal, I think is like 1.3.4. I did pretty much everything. If you go to the leaderboards, progress, I'm way ahead of everybody else. Where you have 0 down here at 21, Keys at 5, Turco's 26. These two work together. At 26%, Chucky got 26, 7 Sins at 34, and I was at the top 42% of all the quests. There were a lot of quests. I'll show you. Here's the quest log. You see everything with a check mark is everything I've completed. So I have all these introduction quests. All these are all checked off from cooking. I didn't do that. Exploration, quite a bit of them. Dimensions, I got a lot of the dimension ones checked off. Magic and spellcasting, I got 60% of those. A lot of magic and spellcasting quests done. A few of these, I didn't get into that as much. Science, I did some, so I don't want to go off and make all these machines again. A lot of these I already made and I didn't count them because I didn't have the quest started. I didn't feel like remaking them. I didn't do any of these either. Advanced science, same type of thing. I only did what I needed with that. Agriculture, I wasn't going to bother with that. Bosses, I killed most of the bosses. Some of them I couldn't find. I couldn't find Gorgon. I couldn't find any trolls. Primordial Malevolence, Dreadful Peat Mummy. I never ended up killing the Ender Dragon. Somebody else killed it, and we never respawned it. The Sun Chief I never found. I also never found an Elder Guardian. But everything else I killed. Pied Piper, the Ratlantean, Sludge Menace, everything from Twilight Forest, the Alpha Yeti, Armored Giant, the Giant Miner, Ice Dragons, Fire Dragons, Sea Serpents, Frostmaw, and the Wrought Knot. I killed everything I could kill, but not everything. And there's a few of these. Yeah, so that's my challenges. See statistics. I played 56 sessions for a total of 5 days. A lot of that's AFK time, though. This is kind of all boring. I just want to see if there's anything interesting. Time, like, oh, I know I can go. Number of times killed is in leaderboards. So, time played. I was actually 5th for time played, believe it or not. That's surprising. I thought I would be like number 2 or 3. 128 hours. 5 days and 7 hours. And then, let's see, number of deaths. I only died 18 times, so I'm 6th place. For everybody who, besides this guy, pretty much everybody else, I was way under on deaths. That makes me feel good. I had really strong armor, though. Mob kills, number 2, 4,500 mob kills. And that's pretty much all that matters, right? Nobody cares about jumps. So here's Turco and Gloatyfunk's little house base that they made. Just going to do a real quick flyby of this. Just go inside and then do the outside. So this is all done from Immersive Engineering. This is the power source. He's running electric wires through everything, garden cloaches. This is the inside here. Oh, I just got actually shocked by the wire. Then the outside is pretty cool too. He's got these windmills, he's got water wheels, and these massive tanks. I'm not really sure exactly how this all works, but I really think it's pretty cool. And then they started working on this, like a little armory, weapon area, some kitchen stuff. It's basically very similar to my kitchen setup. It's really cool. Smelteries outside, and then I think they have a little farm, a little garden they started doing over here. That was their base. I might as well go over to Zero's base real fast too. Alright, so this was Zero's base. He kind of made a 2-part base. It's pretty cool. He had bigger plans that he never got enough time to do, but here was all his astral sorcery stuff going on here, including the giant telescope, which I never got to make. It's really cool looking, though. I never made the giant telescope. It was on the to-do list. I just never got around to it. Then he's got all of this stuff on this level here. This is pretty fleshed out, too, a little further than mine was. It's got all the Thaumcraft altars and everything. I didn't make the altar on this server. I had very similar setup to this. Mine just looked way cooler. And then on the bottom floor, he didn't really have much down here. Then he's got his house over here. So he had this whole garden outside. Pretty cool concept. Him and Glode both kind of did the same similar setup they found online of this garden that's, kind of in layers. It goes down uh, and the water flows down. So one water source powers everything. It's pretty cool. And then his actual house is over here. So he made this, I think it's probably the coolest thing he did. He made this ring of cherry trees, and if you drop down into the center of it, his house is all surrounding on all sides here. So depending where you go in, it's just a big loop. So he's got, this is all of his oil generation and power. He had much bigger power source than I did. Although I don't think he ever used it for anything. So it does look cool though. So he's got a massive power source there. Then if you continue to go around, this is his big ME system, which once again is a lot more advanced than mine, but that's all right. And he's got in here just all his machinery and everything, and storage of all of his liquids. Yeah, so that's his house there. I'm sure if they showed you a tour of their houses instead of me, I'm sure I'm skipping a lot, and they would show you much more in detail. But all right, that's So the guy Chucky also made a pretty cool base. He made it up in the sky here. It's all marble. Chuck Olympus, he called it, because it's up in the sky. It's pretty cool. He just made it all one theme, so it's like Olympus theme. So it's all this like same kind of glass and same kind of marble throughout the whole thing. And it's up on top of this mountain here, as you can see. He really actually did a lot with it. It's pretty huge. I don't even know what's inside of this massive part here. I don't think I've ever been in there. I guess you could probably smash your way in and find out. Normally I would never... Oh, you can't. Yep, I can. Normally I would never destroy somebody's stuff, but like I said, the server's being erased in 2 days. So this will all be gone. Yeah, oh, so he made this huge area he never got to use. This is huge. Unfortunately. But yeah, this is his little Olympus house. Anyway, my Chinese food is here, so I have to go. But yeah, I'll edit this, put it on YouTube. Should be pretty cool. Alright. Adios.